Okay, now we're here at the hives in the pasture. Yeah, come back around this way.
That's right.
We don't need to worry about the sticker vines in front of the colony. Oh, I forgot that oh, that was the dry sugar. Let me put this on that side so it doesn't block the camera's view. Okay, so this colony was comprised of the remnants of three nukes going into the winter. One of them had gone laying worker, one of them had gone queenless, and one was queen right. And so I merged them together, and I provided some sugar here for them. And I don't know how much we have left. Let me get the smoker, and we'll see what our population is now. There's definitely a few. Not the signs of a large population that I thought. I think there was some robbing going on that day that I merged them. And you see all of this down here?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it looks like a combination that they've cleaned out some old comb, but there also might have been some robbing from these other hives. All right, I'm going to set that over here. You know, if you'll stay over here for me,
Okay.
and I'll just let you. If I call for the smoker, you know where it is there. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably many more frames than the population really required. I think I left this with some honey on it, and it is now gone. So this colony might indeed need some feed. We'll see what we find later. This one, I think, also had some honey on it, and this was a cutout. You can see these combs were rubber banded in place. All right, there we go. Quite sure what that is. All right, there's nothing on that one either. That'll be good comb for them to build on, though, as the population starts to come up. So that was 9 and then 8. This one, let me make sure my count is right. Oh, no. 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 9. So 10 and that was 10 and 11. So now we're looking at 9. This one does still have honey. It's heavy with honey. Check the camera view and make sure that the camera can see the whole frame. So about 60% or 50% honey on that side.
Yeah.
And probably 66% honey on that side. All right, they don't need feeding. All right, this is another largely empty frame. They've got some pollen. They're putting some nectar in here. However, because this is all, it's not an orderly comb, I'm tempted. The top part is pretty straight, but I'm going to take away from them everything below this bar because they start to build comb in layers down here. And so I'm going to tell them time for a do-over. I'm going to leave them the top part because that was drawn in an orderly way. Down here, they've taken, it was from a cutout, and I took a couple of combs, tried to fit them in here. And often when you do that, I mean, it's a good thing to do, but the downside is that as they start to merge all the comb together, they tend to build in layers, and you really don't want that. What we'd like is to have one unbroken sheet of comb going straight from the top to the bottom. And this is another place where it's drawn a little irregularly. So I'm going to just take a little bit of it off and then kind of mash what's left down into alignment with the frame. Pull out the rest of the rubber bands. All right, and hopefully they'll continue to draw that. Now, you would just put this in the back of the truck. We'll melt that down. This is the kind of frame that we want. It's got honey at the top. So here's a real good view of bee bread in these areas. You see how, I think the camera won't see it because of the light angles, but you see how it looks like pollen, but it's moist?
Yeah.
That's bee bread. So even if they don't have pollen actively coming in while they're raising bees, they can feed that bee bread. Yeah, that was a queen cell that got chewed down. So that might have been from that queenless colony before I merged them. I'm trying to discern. Sometimes you have these funny reflections from the fact that you've got at the bottom of each cell, you've got three corners from the cell on the other side that come together. And sometimes it makes it look like there's eggs in the cell. I think all I was seeing was reflections. All right, so that was frame 7. Six, they're laying up nectar. I'm not gonna try to be careful not to tilt it too extremely so as not to pour out their nectar. We've got nectar and a little bit of pollen. That looks like the fresh stuff, so they're finding what they need in the fields right now. And that means we're probably past the danger point. In Texas winters, there is this stage where you can get them through the really cold part of the winter, but as the temperatures start to come up, they start to fly even before there's very many flower. Look at that pollen pants right there. See that orangish, dark colored nectar?
Yeah.
That is, that purple flower that I think I've told you about.
Like this one?
Yeah, yeah. I always forget the name of it. But they're finding lots of variously colored pollens right now. Don't see brood or eggs here, but lots of food for babies. And they're not really acting like they're queenless, so there's brood. So we watch for the queen. I think I marked this queen, so she should be easier to see. So probably a half frame of brood here. All right. Didn't really identify the queen. Try to mash that more in line and see if they can salvage that. Okay. Now I believe that these 3 combs had some cross combing, and at last inspection I did not pull them out separately, but I'm going to this time. There's another good section of brood, probably about half of the comb. Look at the different colors there down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Some that's almost red, some that's a bright yellow. All right, I don't see a queen on that side. Ah, I got her.
Oh,
See
wow.
the red dot?
Yeah.
So there's our queen running right by my thumb right now. Little red dot on her back. Okay. Now we know where she is. All right, frame 2. So we've had, what, 3 frames of brood or 2? Yeah, feel free to
I think 3.
pick it up and take a look.
It was just looked like it was about to fall.
Huh?
It just looked like it was about to fall in. It was a little far over.
Yeah, that was not brood.
No.
So 2 frames of brood so far. Pollen and nectar. All right, once again, the top part is nicely in alignment with the frame. The bottom part, not so much. There's not really anything stored on these bottom sections. So we're going to take those away and melt them down and hope that the bees will draw straight. I'm going to mash the bottom part of the comb back into better alignment and hope that that will help them. All right. So this colony is also queen right. We've seen the queen. We've seen the brood. They're getting ready to brood up. Now, what I did not see this time was any drone brood. Now, I did that because the comb on this one was attached to the wall. All right. All right, nothing really on this on that side, but that's because it was right up against the wall, I suppose. And this one, I don't see that they really have anything much stored here. A little bit of nectar. All right, I think I'll try to straighten that out a little bit. All right. They are a nice docile colony so far. Okay. Hold on a sec. Let's use the smoker to get them out. When they're all, there you go. Push it tight. Good. Okay. With 11 frames, they've got all the room they need. We certainly don't need to add any more frames just yet. All right. See how my fuel is running.
Oh, this frame is heavy. Honey is heavy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we probably don't really need that, but might as well leave it until later. All right. Now you saw I had 2 divider boards in there.
Yeah.
The reason for that is I could actually use a hive this large to house 2 different colonies if I needed to. So, all right, if you would take that comb on the ground and put it in the truck. All right, now this colony that we're about to go into was at one time the meanest colony of bees I had. And then I requeened them, and they haven't been so temperamental since then. Let me get my smoker running again. And I'm not sure I've seen, yeah, now I see some activity at the entrance. I was going to be really disappointed if this one had died out, but they haven't. They're good. Now I've got ventilation on this other side, so I'm going to let some smoke. Nope, I've got it set to closed, so just go ahead and pop the lid. Yeah, definitely got bees. Let me give them a little bit of smoke. I need to raise this up by at least 1 more cinder block. So let's see, I don't know where that got to. I had some shims back here. There they are. This hive has been rocking a little bit for a while, and I keep saying next time I come I'm going to shimmy that up. Okay, now it's solid. All right. So in this box we've got 7 frames. This one is mostly honey, about half on that side, a little less than half on that side. Don't see any signs of brood, or a little bit of pollen, a little bit of fresh nectar. Frame 6. Probably about a quarter honey. This is can you see the difference between these cells and these cells?
These ones a little bit more tight.
Yeah, these are the worker brood. This is drone brood size cells. They'll use either of them for honey storage when they're not using it for brood. We got a lot on this side as well that's drone brood, or drone brood size rather. Yeah, we can, that's just a little cross combing. We can just break that off. All right, so we got some honey. No signs of brood there. Cell size are largely, oh, there's brood. So on frame 5 is our first brood. And we've also got some nectar dripping. See, they're about to reclaim it right there. Got one bee lapping up a big pool of nectar. He says, that's not where it goes. All right, so frame 5. On this side, probably about 50% brood.
A little bit of honey.
A little bit of honey, a little bit of pollen. Some eggs. They're really hard to see, especially when there are this region down here. All right, this is a really soft edition, and it's not flat with the rest of it, so we're going to get rid of that. And on this side, another nice patch of brood, along with a lot of eggs. Let's look for a queen. This queen is likely unmarked. I bought a queen to requeen this colony, and she was there for a little while, and then I think they requeened themselves. And so the queen that I bought was supposed to have a nice lime green mark on her back, and I never actually saw her after I released her. But I think when they requeened, they did so from her eggs. So we've still got that genetics here, just with a queen that's not actively marked. So if I find a queen in here, I will mark her. And I should probably go prepare for that. Let me get my marker pen. shake that for a little bit until your arms get tired. All right, now we're looking at frame 4. I'm going to give them another little puff of smoke. Got some more brood here. Got a big old pile of, oh, that's not a pile of bees. That's where the comb is out of flat. Well, there's definitely some brood here.
What are these bees doing? They all have their heads down.
Deep into the cell? They're probably eating.
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah, they could be eating, could be capping off a honey cell, but probably eating. Or feeding. They might be feeding larvae. So we have some eggs in that vicinity, so that's probably what they're doing. They're probably putting royal jelly in with the baby bees. All right, I do not see the queen here, but plenty of evidence. You see, look right through here. There's eggs in every one of those cells.
Yeah.
And that is a small hive beetle.
Do the bees not kill it?
They will chase it around sometimes. Try to keep them off the comb. The beetle has a carapace that's hard enough that they can't really sting through it very well. These bees are so much, I mean, all of these out here are so much milder in temperament than they were when I inspected them in the fall. They were just pretty. Oh. All right, so I pulled apart. All right, they've got nothing really stored on this. This is so irregular. I'm just going to shake them off and take this away from them. I got a little bit of honey there.
I think this is pretty connected to this comb.
Yep.
Yeah, they're connected.
All right, here they've got some pollen and some nectar and honey stored. They're drawing the comb so irregularly. And I'm going to cut it off, but in this case, because they do have some stuff stored, I'm going to put it behind their divider board so that they can rob it out, but they won't keep trying to build that frame the way they're building. Give them some smoke. The other thing we can do when they start getting agitated like this is get these frames pushed back together. And that way, at least the bees that are on those frames are less aware that we're interfering in their hive. All right, so this one, I'm just going to cut off this whole section of comb. And there's a lot, most of this frame is pretty well constructed. They're doing some double layering that I can't let them get away with.
There's so many.
What?
So many bees just.
Yeah. Okay, maybe they can reform this a little bit so that I'll be able to let them keep it, but we'll see.
I haven't seen her anywhere.
They're fanning though. Let me get around to the other side. All right, step back and let the light in a little bit. From the direction that they're all fanning, I think she's down in that corner, and it's not important enough for me to see her. So I'm just going to go back in here nice and slow. Yep. Just smoke the crevice for me.
Move. Gosh.
Okay. All right. Now, this was the one I was going to break this stuff off and put it in the back here. Can you reach that the hive tool there? Should have brought a little jar for that propolis. Okay. Now we'll put this back in here and they can use it. We'll put this in here and they can build on it. I need to trim down that divider board a bit. I've been saying that every time I come out here and they never take it away to go do it. Okay, I think that is good enough. So we saw brood, we saw eggs, we didn't see the queen. They're queen right. They've got food. They've got, I didn't count, but I guess several frames of brood. They're getting started anyway. Hive tool. There we go. Yeah, that just tossed that in the back of the truck. That was an insulating pillow for these girls. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 frames here again. More propolis. Oh, I didn't even smoke them. A little bit at the entrance. All right, frame 7 has some honey, some freshly stored nectar. Some remaining honey on the back. A little tiny bit of nectar. Let's see which side. Oh, yeah, so the honey was on the side furthest away from the brood nest. Frame 6 looks like it's got quite a bit of additional honey. Boy, look at the amount of propolis that these bees make compared to the others. That's often a genetic thing.
Mm-hmm. Honey?
Yep, mostly honey, some freshly stored nectar. I'd say
a lot of honey.
This frame is more or less full of honey. So if you would, go to the truck and in the frame basket that's nearest the bed, nearest the tailgate, grab 2 or 3. Now let's just make it 3 more of the empty frames like the ones I just gave to the other colony. So this colony has 7 frames, which is less than some. And just from the initial look of it, they are already pretty full with honey, and they already have a high population. That's 4. So we're going to need to give them some room to grow. All right, here's a frame that's fully drawn out. About 30% honey at the top. Some nectar and pollen being stored on the back side. It's a fairly decent looking frame. There's a little bit of double layering going on. I'm not going to correct it at this point. Here comes our first brood on frame 4. Thank you. We'll use those when we put it back together. So much propolis. There's our first sign of brood. Take a quick look for the queen. I'm pretty sure the queen in this box is unmarked, so have to have a sharp eye. More brood on the back side. I don't see a queen. Definitely got brood and milk brood, which is the larva that's not been capped.
The white stuff?
Uh-huh. Don't see the queen there. Might have a sign of a queen cup here. Nope. That was just a... So that is a drone cell. See the way it bubbles up over the top of the other cells?
Kind of like these ones,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah. They're making drones, getting ready to fertilize queens. It sets the stage for swarming. Don't see a queen on this side. We've got brood and drone brood. Got the same on this side. Think you see her?
No.
Oh, there she is. Got a yellow mark on her back. So there's our queen right there under my thumb. That means the fact that she's yellow marked means that she's still the same queen I had in my first year. So 2024 is green is our color. 2023 was red. 2022 was yellow.
She's old.
Yep. But still doing good. All right, frame 2.
Oh wow. You got like a
Yeah, that's called festooning, where you've got these dangling bees. They do that when they're trying to get the level for the next section of comb. And on this frame, that's a bad thing because if they draw comb there, they're going to have a double layer. So what we need to do is we're going to shake them off. Say, don't do that. They didn't like that very much. They've got pollen and some nectar, some honey. I think that by turning it around that way, maybe I can make it more difficult for them to have room to draw a new layer of comb. All right, frame 1 on the wall. All right. Guess we can take away our this was a little where's my pocket? That was I had this baited as a swarm trap at one point. We can take that away. I can't get it off my glove. If I get it into the pocket, I won't be able to get it out of the pocket. All right. So look at what we've got here. Mostly pollen storage. Not a lot of it, just a little. They're not really doing a whole lot with this. I see some small hive beetles. Oh yeah, we don't like him. We have a visiting wasp on my bee jacket. No, they're going to go at the far end. We tend to put everything back in place in the same orientation. Oh, I didn't though. That was turned the wrong way. And I turned this one around because we wanted them not to be able to these aren't climbing up, getting in the way as bad as some of them were. All right, let's grab those for 3 frames and hope that they will start drawing out some fresh comb back here. Actually, I am going to do one thing. I am going to intersperse some of these because that will help them to draw in more of a straight line. I don't want to divide the brood nest. One more. All right. There we go. So 3 hives queen right in this location. One of them, 2 of them, we spotted the queen. Adequate food in all of them. Brood in all of them. Drones in one of them. Okay. Now I was thinking about, what was I thinking about? Oh, I was thinking about feeding them, but I think we'll just leave them alone. So the bees that we cut out of the water meter last night are now over here, and they are orientating to their new location. And we're just going to leave them unbothered for at least a week. I think maybe I will open that entrance a little more. There you go. Now you've got more room to come and go. I think they're going to stay. That looks like a lot of orientation flights.